Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back again and again to Cannon 40 TV on this Sunday afternoon show, 5 minutes after the hour of 6 p.m. And there's a good reason for why we're like 5 minutes late, but I'll get into that, literally a little bit later on. I've got my brother with me. We're going to be talking about some bits and pieces of news I covered in the week, regards to Super Jack, and we beat that German outfit, second tier team. Couldn't beat second tier team. They didn't look like it to me, man. But anyway, we are here, we are live, and get into the live chat as well as us talking about the polls. We're going to get into this one on the other side of this music intro. Yes, indeed, we are back again. A continuation from the morning show, which I had to kind of shut down less than 30 minutes because I had to be somewhere else. As someone saying to me, "Come on, hurry up in there, get off the podcast, get off." I'm not going to tell you who that person was. It wasn't my brother. I'm talking about brotherly.
It wasn't me.
Ralph, how have you been?
I'm boiling. I'm not complaining though, because we don't get this kind of weather often. So I'm enjoying it. It's my weekend off. Kind of like distraction free, as it were. My daughter's doing other stuff. Normally I'll be with her. I'm just getting on with like tidying up my act, so to speak. I've got so many things I need to attend to. So it's been a good weekend for reflection and chilling, and I say I'm boiling. I've got the fan on. I've just been out to get some more water because I'm gasping. So you probably see me sip on the bottle somewhere. Enjoy the tennis. The tennis was amazing as well as the women's football now. The Euros have kicked off. Yeah, life's good. Life's good, man. I can't complain. Really can't complain.
Okay, cool. So you got no water in the house? There's no water in the tap? Or...
Yeah, Alex, this is not like us 1975, 6 onwards, where if you said to your parents, yeah, exactly. If you said to your parents, "Mum, can I have some bottled water?" They say, "Boy, you're talking out of your head." You know what I mean? This is, you know what it's like. It's like the water in the bottle is not the same as the water at the tap.
You southern softy, you. Anyway,
southern soft. Jeez, go in there.
Let's get into this one. So it's been a few, actually. It's been a while since my brother's been on live on the channel. He's got his own channel. I don't know what my brother's doing, but I want to get your opinion, Ralph, about Super Jack, who has since announced his retirement from professional football.
Well, it's bittersweet. I mean, in his statement, he said that he lived his dream. I think if I'm going to be realistic, I feel that there was so much more that he could have done, but I don't think he had the right players around him to protect him. I feel that in our last conversation, I said that how the height of the Arsenal team was greatly reduced after the likes of Gilberto, Vieira, Henry, Bergkamp, they left, and we had Kleb, Rosicky, Flamini, and Cesc Fabregas in midfield. And what you lose presence. You lose that kind of like intimidatory factor. Now, the team that we had after the Invincibles, if they'd gone on to win, then it would have been all about tactics and the fact that the team's now a lot smaller and a lot faster, more technically gifted, don't have any kind of like fear of receiving the ball, taking on the opponent. And I feel like Jack Wilshere was, if he was in the Invisible team, maybe a bit before, or maybe just a little bit after, he would have reaped the benefits. He reaped the benefits, and he wouldn't have been as injured as often as he has done, because he became like a target man for the opposition. I wish him all the best. Just seeing him there, I've been watching lots of clips, especially that goal against Norwich. I can't get enough of that goal against Norwich. because it just typified his play. And when he played against Barcelona as well in the Champions League at the time, you know how instrumental he was in that match as well at home. I, there was, like, of course, some off the field antics prior to him being in the England team, but I just feel like there could have been so much more for him. He just wasn't protected enough. Wasn't protected enough, in my opinion. Whether that's a fair assumption or a right assumption, but it's my take on it. But I wish him well. I hope that he does, like, if he's going to coaching, he will coach the youngsters at the club. He's got to get, more of a wider depth of field in terms of understanding what the coaching badge means. I mean, you can't get anyone who better than someone who's experienced the Premiership from his angle.
Okay.
But yeah, I wish him best. I wish him all the best.
Okay, cool. Let me do a couple of new segments we featured from the morning show, and we spoke about Lucas Torreira, who has apparently been called. I think Mikel Arteta has performed a dramatic U-turn. Lucas Torreira's agent has revealed the midfielder, where his client has been handed an unlikely chance to revive his Gunner's career. Yeah, we remember, what happened to him. He got loaned. Actually, he suffered indignity of being dropped. I think it was Thomas Partey who took the position. Then went out to Atletico Madrid for Thomas Partey to come in the opposite direction. Then he lost his mother, and a whole series of incidences. And actually, week before last, when he was asked if he's coming back, he said no. For me, the beginning that they told me I didn't have a place, so I don't want to stay either because I suffered a lot. It cost me a lot to adapt, and my idea is to go and play in either Italy or Spain. What I wanted was to stay at Fiorentina, but it didn't happen for various reasons. So we'll look for a new direction. Now, his agent Pablo Betancourt said that Lucas to Juventus, in fact, he would like to stay and play in Italy. But today, this is like yesterday, Arsenal have called him up for a tour to go and play in the pre-season in the United States. So he would seem to be part of the program. I don't. How do you see, or do you see a realistic way back for him, Ralph?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know what Arteta is planning on. I thought it was all pretty much like done and dusted with between him and us, if I have to be perfectly honest. I don't have a Danny LaRue, to be honest. Actually, I just feel that maybe I feel we've kind of moved on, which is maybe a weird. I mean, what I keep seeing when I hear him is just seeing that go against them down the road. I remember Eltel was saying how he's a good player, but he does tend to lose possession at crucial parts of the pitch, and other than I think it was the World Cup before where he marked out Cristiano Ronaldo. That's the reason why we got him in, because if you put him on a danger man, he will do his job. But he's had a very, very challenging period at Arsenal. And of course, when you lose a parent as well, he was all over the place. And of course, rightly so. I think that he's moved on. I think he's moved on from Arsenal. It's got to be two parts of a whole. If Torreira wants to come back, and Arteta feels there's a place for him, and he wants to do that, then okay, it just means that it's going to upset some of the midfielders a bit because it's competition. But he's got to be in the right mindset to want to do that. Can you see him, being picked every week for 38 odd matches or the odd cup match? I think his ambitions lie elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that's my gut feeling.
I'll say two things. What I repeated from the morning show. Up until this point, there's not been any indication that he has is willing to listen to the call to go and play preseason in the United States. The other thing is he would save us a lot of money. We wouldn't need to go into the market to buy a central defensive midfielder. A central defensive midfielder is something that we have been crying out for. Now, we have since bought Fabio Vieira. He's not a defensive midfielder. Thomas Partey is like a box-to-box midfielder, but like someone said to me in the morning show, box-to-box midfielder, but Arteta is playing him as if he is a central defensive midfielder. So Torreira would solve the problem, but like you say, he's in the right frame of mind. Does he want to come back and play for Arsenal if he's not sure whether he'll play consistently? I doubt it, Ralph. I very, very much doubt it. So did you want to add anything on top of that, Ralph? Or
yeah, I was going to say that that's just the thing, other than mindset, going back. I mean, the last match he had with us was about 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
So could you envision him being up for a big match against likes of Man City and Liverpool? He probably would relish the big matches rather than the smaller ones. If I don't mean to sound insultingly or anything, but I think the big matches, he's a big match player. But the week-to-week matches, like we play against Brighton or Fulham or anyone like that. I don't think that he's. I don't think he's in the right mind frame. Him and his family is all set over in Italy, and to come back to the Premiership, I think it's going to be a bit of a hard slog. And again, you're going to be sat on the bench, because I'm sure Arteta at this moment in time has potentially got his 11. It's.
But do you think it might be that he's called him back to put him in the window to sell him?
That's not a bad tactic, really, because maybe Kroenke said to him, okay, you're done spending, try and offload a few more players, and then I'll open the coffers again. So maybe that might be. We never know. We're not in the room, like I always say. It's all speculation, isn't it? So
yeah. All right. The next news, again, ongoing, saga. Like I don't know. It's like a love triangle between Ajax, Man United, and Arsenal, and this player, Lisandro Martinez. My goodness. Anyway, there's been a little bit update. I know I did upload a video within the last couple of hours, I believe. Ajax respond to improved £43 million Man United transfer offer for Lisandro Martinez. Ajax have told Manchester United they must raise their offer again in order to agree a deal for Lisandro Martinez. According to reports, the Dutch Giants have been talking. They're trying to negotiate something. This is taking their time to ponder the Red Devils' latest offer after Old Trafford Chiefs raised their bid to £43 million for the Argentine. Now, I've not run to YouTube to check out and see how he plays. I've just literally going by what I've read about him. He looks like a solid player, but I think this player, is more likely going to be going to Man United because his ex-manager is the new manager, Union store manager at Man United. And I gave the situation this morning that you've got a situation where the manager, like Erik ten Hag, knows you. He knows your character type. He knows how to get the best out of you. I mean, crikey, you were the player of the season last season for Ajax. But then you've got the unknown quantity in Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. Who would you rather go for, Ralph?
Well, you always want to go with your mates, isn't it? You know what I mean? If your manager is your best friend and he's got your back, you're gonna go with your mates. You know what I mean? If you're ambitious, you want something different, then you come to Arsenal. But you know what, Alex? This is the thing, right? I get kind of like ticked off when we are after a player, which we're going to the club to say, look, we want to buy this player. And then the players and ahhing. You're saying, well, I don't know, shall I go to Man United or shall I go to Arsenal? And it just frustrates me. I want somebody who wants to play for us. Bottom line, what you've got in you a decision to make. You either make it to either stay put or you go. If you're going to go, then say to your club, no, I want to go to this club. Make sure you get the money right. Now Ajax is probably playing the two of us off, as it were. It's like going on a date. You think you're going on a date with this girl, but also she's brought her friend along. You know what I mean? And you're thinking, what's going on here? Like, I thought it was just us. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, our interest should be straight to the player. We're dealing with the club, straight to the player. Do you want to play for us? This is, put the money on the table. Put the money on the table. If whatever the asking price is, put the money on the table and say, right, we want you. No BS, no messing about, because we got, still a few more weeks before we can, we start playing some of these like tournaments, and then the new season will come straight in before we know it. So put the money on the table. And then you leave to the player. You tell the player you've got, I don't know, 72 hours to make a decision. When it's taken, it's taken. You don't go back. You don't say, well, maybe, ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. The only way you're going to show strength is by dealing with the club directly. Put the money on the table in front of the player and say, this is what we want. Now, if you want to go to your previous manager, then that frees us up to start chasing the other potentials. Now it's time wasted because we don't have time to waste, Alex.
Exactly. And actual fact, CM was just reminding me that Ajax are wanting £60 million for Lisandro Martinez. Don't get me wrong. Again, what I've read, the guy is solid at the left back position. He can also play as a central defender as well. But I'm thinking, at what point do you say, actually, you know what, we're out. We're out of this bid. Actually, I think we're already out anyway. I think it is literally down between Man United and Ajax. I think Arsenal are long since gone out of this deal here. I would have liked Arsenal to buy, but again, there has to be a point where you say, do you know what? We're not going to be paying over the odds for this player. And like you say, Ralph, there are possibly other targets that we can go for who are a lot cheaper, who probably can not do as good a job, but it's going to be balancing the books at the end of the day, isn't it, Ralph?
Yeah. This is Dragon's Den. You know how much money you've got on your table. You know how much that they want. If there's some kind of bargaining, then that means that you're put in pole position. If there's no bargaining, then you're wasting your time. You just go on to the next person. There's no. We're not really. We haven't really rushed into this process when you think about it. I know a lot of other clubs have done their business early, but we're not rushing ourselves because I think what we're trying to do, we're trying to understand and learn from what we've done in the past that hasn't benefited the club or benefited the player, benefited the fans. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if Ajax is asking 60 and you've got 59 mil on the table, then it's a no-go. It's a no-go. You know what I mean? Go and find someone who can do the job for maybe 40 mil or 50 mil, and then when we become successful, you can do the proverbial to Ajax and say, "Right, we found our player, and we've gone beyond because we filled the role. Your man is either in Man United or he's probably will be in Ajax because he hasn't made his mind up yet."
Yeah. Ralph, we did the latest poll that we did. I know CM's just joking in the live chat there. We did a poll from the morning show, and I asked the question, which position is the most important position that Arsenal needs to fill? And I put, listen, I would like Arsenal to buy an additional striker, but that's not going to happen. Why is that? Because why would you want to give a striker a new 5-year contract extension, £100,000 a week, give him the prize number 14 shirt, and then are you going to go back in the market again to buy another striker? But anyway, so from my perspective, Ralph, I thought maybe the midfield is an area which needs to be more secure. So in these positions in the midfield, I put a central defensive midfielder, an attacking midfielder, or a box-to-box midfielder. So we have received 692 votes. One comment, I still haven't responded to that comment just yet. We've received 24 likes. So again, the options were a central defensive midfielder, an attacking midfielder, or a box-to-box midfielder. So 11% of the subscribers have gone for an attacking midfielder. Is the position most important to fill. 27% have gone for a box-to-box midfielder. And surprise, surprise, 62% have gone for a central defensive midfielder. Now, probably kind of giving the game away, but, would you agree with that, Ralph? Or do you think maybe it's a different position on the pitch we need to bump up?
If Partey is meant to be box-to-box, I'd be happy with a central mid defender, to be honest. Someone who can just hold centre. Maybe that's the reason why Arteta is gambling a bit on Torreira. But like you said again, if he's going to put him in the window, then it means that he's looking for somebody to get in, so that we can get that person in there. So yeah, I think I'll be happy with centre mid. We've been leaking goals, Alex, from midfield.
Yeah, exactly.
When we get attacked, they walk straight through us. There's no time.
That's the same thing I said this morning. That's exactly the same thing I said on this morning's show, Ralph. It's like leaving your back door open for everyone to just come and take the prize jewels. Sorry, go on, Ralph. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was going to say that the strength of any team is in your defense. The amount of goals that we gave away last season, and there were cheap goals as well. We may have at times managed to get a result out of it, but the matches that we lost, we didn't need to lose them because there were serious defensive errors. Strengthen your defense, strengthen your midfield. This is the thing that I always say, and like I said before, I'm not a professional footballer. I played football. The teams I played for, they were a joy to play with. But when you see the professionals, and the reason why we seem to be so critical is because sometimes they seem to be doing the same mistakes over and over and over. You look at your defense, when to push up, when to drop back, who your danger man is. The Premiership is not a mystery because we play the same teams every season. They may change in format, they may change in personnel, but the teams that you're playing against. Liverpool, who their key men are. Man City, who their key men are. I have to say Chelsea, and even them down the road. Who their key men are. You put your man on them. You're only as strong as your tactics. Now, half the time, it's like it's not even a chess match. It's like drafts. It gets so quick and so easy. The game's over by the first half or the second half. Later on in the second half, we don't seem to be having that kind of tactical awareness about. We're 2 goals up, and it's about 5-10 minutes to go. Let's ping the ball in the corners. Let them try and come at us. Ping the balls in the corner. Let's game manage. How many times have we said about game management in the past matches? How many times have we said that? How the amount of times that defenders pass the ball with their heads down, and then all of a sudden they realize they passed it and they've passed it to the opposition. How many times have we said about tempo? One I remember watching the big match back in the day before our dad dragged me to Sunday school, which I used to loathe. I used to love going to Sunday school. But I remember watching the Brazilian team, and they said that how they love tempo because you impress upon the opposition the pressure, and they either can live with it or they can't live with it. Arsenal and any other Premiership team is no different. It's how you manage it. You can only manage it if you've got the right personnel. If you don't have the right personnel, that's what happens. But we understand that as fans and playing the game. When you look at your players, you think about don't you understand that? Don't you? What is it you're doing in the training pitch? Hence the reason why I don't watch the training videos anymore, because what they do there, they don't do on the pitch.
Okay, and what was the other thing? Oh, yes, about Bernd Leno. It's been established that he's definitely going to be going to Fulham. It's just that both Fulham and Arsenal cannot agree terms just as yet, but there is an agreement that he will be going most likely to Fulham to secure, I think, cement his position in the German national team. I mean, crikey, the World Cup is in November, so it's a good move for him.
Mm.
He will remain in the Premier League, and Ralph, did you see the game? Nuremberg versus Arsenal.
Nah, I didn't bother to watch. I saw on the Twitter feed, Jesus, and actually, I did see on Twitter, El Neni. El Neni, the guy does this for a living. Let me tell you something. When he shoots outside the box, it's only gonna go one place, top left or top right, but he does it all the time. He does it when he gets opportunity. That's what he does. That's what he does, and that's what I love about Erneni. The guy is very humble. He doesn't do anything outside of the club or whatever. He doesn't do he. There may be times in the match he may get caught up, but he's a squad player. He's definitely a squad player. But when he's there, when you give him the chance and he has the opening, the man's got a shot on him. But no, I didn't watch the match, Alex. I was thinking. It seems to be like more of a Nuremberg, how they managed to score, the amount of goals that they did. It just goes to show again, our defense, regardless if it's just just a little tournament or whatever. That's where it is. I'll be if I was Arteta, I'd be saying, how comes we let 3 goals in against Nuremberg? Come on.
Yeah. Ask Pablo Mari. But anyway. So the last segment we spoke about was about Gabriel Jesus. And in the post-game interview that he gave after the game against Nuremberg, he was asked about, you're the main man now, aren't you? How do you feel about that? And he actually said, no, I don't want to be the man in the spotlight or the glamorous superstar. I just simply want to do my job and be part of this group, this family here. And I looked at a couple of platforms from this morning, and they were quite disingenuous towards Gabriel Jesus. Say, look, you're obviously the main guy. Just say it. And I thought he doesn't have to say it. What he has to do is just show it. Just show it on the pitch. He's paid to perform, not to speak. So, Gabriel Jesus, humble, keep it humble, man. Just show us what you can do on the pitch. And he did say, literally, he has an instant understanding with Eddie Nketiah. The movement, they understand each other already, Ralph. I was thinking, right, okay. So let's see what happens for the new season. But Gabriel Jesus says, I'm not here to be, the main guy, and I just want to be here to help the team. I was like, right, keep it going. Just show us on the pitch. Show us. And did you see? This photo I got here, Ralph. He's kind of parodying, was it Christ the Redeemer, the statue? Is that not blasphemous, Ralph? I don't know. Blasphemy, infamy. They've all got it in for me.
I don't think. No. But what I will say is that that's a health and safety issue right there, to be honest, because my man is like high up with his back. It looks too high, man. It looks like, hang on a minute now. We just got this guy in. The last thing you want to do is for him to start, being placed in a way that it could cause injury. So no, it's not blasphemous. Come on. There's lots of things that's out there that can be. To me, he's a confident young guy. I think that he's a player. Not that I know much of him. I have to be honest. I only know of his history at Man City a little bit, but he seems to be the guy that, look, he goes in, he wants to do the job to the best of his ability, and then have an understanding with his teammates and win stuff. And that is the right kind of mindset that you want to be in. You've just come in, you're establishing friendships. He will play with at least 2 of the other players from Brazil, or know about them anyway, so they'll make him welcome. They'll tell him all about London life. and he could be going to like coffee shops or whatever. But at the end of the day, he is in to do the job, and if he feels that he's not the main guy, and it's what gets him to perform, then leave the guy alone. Let him, he'll work it out. He worked it out at Man City.
Yeah.
Let him work it out here. Give the guy time.
All right, and that was that. So we're about to go into the live chat and see, who is coming to live chat. Again, guys, you can give us your marks out of 10 for the transfer window. We started the bidding at 6 for the first poll, and I was surprised by the results. And I thought, let's start at 4 out of 10. And you guys have just surprised me. Oh, my goodness. So give us your marks out of 10 for the transfer window. And I'm not sure if Colin Young is in the live chat. He's given a 2 out of 10. Now, someone gave a 1. Someone gave a 1. Ralph, someone gave a 1.5 last week. Someone gave a 1.5. Oh my goodness!
I think their previous transfer fans that been burnt too many times, to be honest. So I don't blame them. All
right, let's go in the live chat. So we've got CM War Games who said, "Hey all, and hey to you, see. I'm not sure if you hung around because we've been going for 30 minutes before we've actually gone into live chat for the first time." He says, "What's wrong with the polls? They're good for dancing." Just got in from work and in time to watch my favorite duo. Thank you for that, CM.
It was working today.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. In that heat as well.
Yeah. He also considered plus he is worth more than Jesus. He's talking about Lisandro Martinez. Listen, again, I said it the other day, Lisandro won't be coming to Arsenal. Is it a passion killer? For me personally, it is. I've always said, literally, as a marquee signing, it wasn't Gabriel Jesus, it was Lisandro Martinez. We can't even put the money on the table. But anyway, he said that Ajax, apparently, they said that they want 60 million plus for him to United. And Ace, good afternoon, says, big up Cannon, bro, and people. Thank you for that, my brother. He says, would Grimaldo, Tielemans, and Kante be better than just Martinez? Well, I'll cover Kante tomorrow because there is some news, Ralph. I've not even heard that we're after N'Golo Kante. Maybe 6 years ago.
Oh,
maybe 6
yeah.
years.
Yeah, exactly. When we had the opportunity to get him, as he was peaking, and now we're going to get him after he's, I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on it.
Yeah. And going to the question, yes, if you can get 3 players to fill those spots and add some competition rather than 1 player, then I'm all for that. Ace says, I really hope Tielemans not our main midfielder. To me, that's just another Xhaka. Tielemans might be better attacking, but Xhaka a better defender. Tielemans not that great attacking and attacking poor. Well, Granit Xhaka is not the best defensive midfielder. He's not. He can't tackle. So for me, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, Tielemans. No, eeny, meeny. I want Tielemans. And I want Granit Xhaka. Gabe, good afternoon, says, who would you rather take, a Savic or Tielemans? I've only seen bits of Savic. And because I'm more aware of how Tielemans plays, again, he's not the answer to our problems. We need a defensive midfielder. He's not a defensive midfielder, so I'll go for Tielemans. I'd rather go get a better midfielder and maybe a squad player, Tielemans, but he definitely wouldn't be my first choice. Oh, wow. Okay. Victor, good afternoon, says Ajax is speaking from their both mouths. You mean they're two-faced. They said 50 million euros before now. Yeah, but you got to remember, they've got all the cards, haven't they? The cards, they've got the winning hands unless somebody can match them. So if you want our player of the season last season, you've got to pay the money. Is that right, Ralph? No?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right in that assessment. It reminds me of of Only Fools and Horses, where Doughboy and I try and remember the name of the guy who does the cars. They're playing cards, and he says, "What? You only got two pair?" He said, "Two pair." You know, you gotta know what you're going in with. You know what I mean? You gotta know what you're going with, and half of the dance is bluffing as well. I remember that story about Sol Campbell. Like David Dean was talking to Arsene Wenger about Sol Campbell, and Sol Campbell was and ahhing. I think the reason why people are so burnt even up to this day about Sol Campbell is because they were hoping that he was going to go to Juventus or somewhere like that. When he signed up, when the guy started walking on the Arsenal pitch, signing up for Arsenal, the people lost their minds over that. So it's all about it is cloak and dagger. It's all about knowing what's in your hand, what you can deal with. If you've got the money to back it up, then back it up. Say, here you are. If you're going to start pontificating, then half the time you think, you know what, I've got other people's interests. I'll go and go. I know what I'm going to get. I'll go there. I don't want to waste time.
Yeah. Mudassa says, I'm a United fan, but I think Arsenal has done better in the current window, whereas other clubs are just taking advantage of United's desperation to squeeze money. But
welcome to Arsenal.
Say again?
Welcome to Arsenal. That's the same thing that we were saying last season. No matter what, we was desperate, and everyone started hiking their prices. A couple of seasons back, Pepe was the new kind of like kid on the block. But hang on a minute now, 75 mil, and now look what's happened. Yeah. So I'm sorry, but welcome to Arsenal. That's we were like that, no doubt. I think Man United. Actually, I was talking to one of my mates in work, and he was saying about Man United and Cristiano Ronaldo wanting to go and everything else. I think Man United are the team that they kind of like surprise their own fans when they start getting things right, and then they surprise their fans when they start getting things wrong. So it's not like back in the day. They are in that kind of like trying to find the right team to get to where they want to get to. They're like us, but they're below us.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
Nick says, knowing who Man City and Liverpool main men is one thing, stopping them is another.
That's true. That's
true.
Enough. No, I was going to say it's true, but then that's the reason why you have your manager and you've got a number two by his side. They have to it's chess. It's street chess. You have to outthink before they even thought about the play they're going to do before that happens. You're always trying to be two spots before it's going to happen. Your player's going to understand that anything can happen. The best laid plans can, always goes out the window when you come across. Was it what Mike Tyson says? Mike Tyson said that how everyone has a plan about how they're going to fight me until they get hit, which is true. But if you've got a really good corner, if you've got a really good manager, you say, okay, you've managed to survive this round. This is the way it's going to come at you. It's all about preparation and preparing for the unexpected, which is a bit of a double-edged sword.
Ajax have no need to sell, and Martinez has at least 2 years left on his contract, so they can demand whatever they want. Yeah, but don't want to get in a situation where. I read some reports this morning about Martinez that he might force a move away from Ajax. And again, you don't want a player who's made his mind up because he actually has said that he wants to play in the Premier League. So I don't know, man. If Man United don't come up with the goods, man, what is Lisandro Martinez going to do? Come to Arsenal? I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds a bit like Aubameyang before he left his team before he came to Arsenal. There's a lot of players like that. They all want to kick up a fuss to come and play in the Premiership, and then they do 1 or 2 seasons in the Premiership, and they feel, you know what, actually, I'm gonna go for Real Madrid because they're calling for me, or Barcelona because they're calling for me, or PSG because they're calling for me. You know, without winning the main thing here first.
But Ralph, what happens if Man United don't table the money that Ajax wants? What is Martinez going to do then? What's he going to do?
He's put himself in the. This is what I'm saying about the young players. You know, you've got to know your worth, but at the same time, you can't be. You can't be. Obviously, he has. You put yourself in a corner. The manager will say, "All right, you know what? The season's here now. We've got no bids. Are you going to play or not? If you're not going to play, I'll put you in the reserves. I'll put you in the under 23s." You know, you have to. Sometimes you have to keep this shut. You know.
Yeah. All right. Ace says Tillerman's no difference to Iwobi, and that's not good enough. Not Xhaka a fan, but he definitely a better defender, even if he loves getting booked. I disagree. Xhaka is not. He can't defend to save his life. Marassa says, with all the signings so far, do you think Arteta won't be another manager get sacked before Christmas? Oh,
wow, contentious.
The pressure is definitely on him, because if you're telling me how you invested £150 million in the summer transfer window, but you didn't buy any players in the January transfer window, you kind of started at the blocks fairly quickly because you got a player in Gabriel Jesus, and I don't know, Ralph. What do you think? Would he be a sure start to be sacked? We're not.
Football's a funny thing, Alex.
We're not going to respond to that. We're not going to respond to that. He says, bro. Did you see how dirty and rusty them pipes are looking already on the roof? Can't see why they filmed Jesus on. Did they look dirty? Let's have a look. They didn't look dirty. Come on, man.
I think there's a bit of. It looks a bit worn on the Jesus left-hand side.
Does it, Ralph?
It does look like it needs a bit of paint there, bro. Don't you remember, Alex? We had this conversation about the outside of the stadium. The outside of the stadium. If they give us a contract, we'll be there in a second.
Yeah.
We paint everything.
Yeah. Oh dear. Look at that. He says, I would hate to be the one to paint them pipes.
It's easy, mate. Just be on a harness. A bit of tin of paint, you'll be all right. As long as it's not windy and rainy.
New screens going up in the Emirates for a new season. Well, they've had enough money, haven't they? Tygonosaurus, good afternoon to you. Evening 6 out of 10. If we can get a player like Jesus, we are moving in the right direction. What part of the project do you guys think he wants attracted to, Ralph?
I think for him, it's just another challenge. But like I said to you, it's a different challenge. He's not got the players like he would have in Man City or in Liverpool. I feel that as much as we're building him up, I feel that we have to, step off a little bit, because it's going to be a very challenging first part of the season for him at Arsenal. If the team don't click, if the team is anxious because they're about maybe 2 or 3 games down like they were last season, then that's when you're going to start pointing the finger and start wondering, who's the one's going to grab the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. I think for him, it's always been the fact of it's another challenge. And Arteta obviously had a word in his shell, so he's I suppose kind of how can I put it, motivated. He's motivated to potentially go to another level if Arteta can take him there.
Yeah. CM says those pipes are 16 years old. So what about your favourite player, Neves? Any chance he will come to Arsenal? Not at £75 million. Wolves are very good at taping up the player. If they want their player, I mean, what they've actually done, they say, £75 million. if you want Ruben Neves, and literally there's no way you're going to pay £75 million for Ruben Neves. I think he's age 26, 25, 26. And they've slapped a £75 million price tag on his head. He's not worth £75 million. So what are they trying to say?
He's not going nowhere.
He's not going anywhere. So there's no chance of us getting Ruben Neves.
All of a sudden, Man City comes in with a bid and take
Cheers, Ralph. I know, 16 years old, but if they are going to film Jesus on the roof, you think they'll give it a lick of paint and then pipes should be painted in all weatherproof. 16 years shouldn't be looking rusty already. Oh, goodness, man. God's Power, good afternoon, says Arsenal should not involve in bidding war. But for N'Golo, no-go area, he spent force maybe 5 or 4 years ago. Remain, not now. But I'll do a video on N'Golo Kante tomorrow, man. Tottenham ground looks sick. Arsenal stadium look unfinished outside, so they decided to put pictures of players all around it. I hope we do not go for N'Golo Kante. We should not be getting any more over 30-year-old players from Chelsea. Absolutely. Life Lessons TV. Oh, what a name. Below who? Of course, Alex, our history suggests that within 2 years we should be winning a couple of titles. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not going to get in a debate with you. When Wenger coming back into the club yet, guys? Is Wenger coming back, Ralph? Is he coming back?
Is he coming back?
I don't think so.
Is he coming back?
Don't think so.
I think he comes back as a a spectator, as a
dignitary. Yeah. God's Power says, I think Arsenal shouldn't involve in bidding. Oh, you've just repeated yourself. Don't repeat. Don't spam the live chat, please. Life Lessons TV says, are we getting Martinez, bruv? Arsenal in the bin again. We're not going to get Martinez. And like we just said, if Man United say, actually, we can't reach that level of the money that you want, I think Martinez is going to be stuck because they want their money for their guy. Much like Ruben Neves, they slapped that amount of money on him because they don't want him to go anywhere. And I'm kind of getting the feeling, literally, they don't want the player of the season, last season, to go. That's why they're asking for so much money. 2 years left on his contract. A sticky situation, man. Parties 29, so Kante not much older if they want to do a straight replacement for Kante experience. Can we now say this is Arteta's team, Ralph?
I'm going to hold judgment on that, and the reason why is because we're still getting some players in. Arsenal are potentially, they're still at the table, the transfer table, or the transfer window, to see who's available. I can't say it's Arteta's team until the first 3 or 5 matches of the new season. Okay. Let's see what team he's got. Let's see. Actually, have you got the fixtures up, Alex?
Yeah, I have.
Could you get the fixtures up?
So August the 5th. Sorry, go on. Go on, Ralph.
No, go on.
Yeah, so August the 5th, Crystal Palace, first game of the season. Leicester, Bournemouth are newly promoted. Then Fulham, my second favourite team, 27th at home. Then the 30th of August, we're playing against Aston Villa. Then September.
Right.
Sorry, go on, Ralph.
So I was going to say, right, so five key matches. The first match, Crystal Palace, after what they did to us last season, and it's away as well. So the first match that we play against Brentford last season was like the opener, because everybody was thinking, this will be a great way to. It'd be great if Arsenal lose that one. What happened? We lost that one. So now they're challenging their or forcing their hand again. Who can we put Arsenal against as one of the opening matches of the season? Oh, Crystal Palace. Oh, but they lost to them last season. So to me, that match, depending on how Arteta is set up, though, to me, those two, the first 5 matches, it's not a walk-in. Leicester City at home, it's going to be a challenge. Bournemouth away, everyone's looking at maybe 3 points. Fulham, newly promoted, at home. We've got home crowd, that's okay. Aston Villa has never been an easy team.
Yeah.
We may have beaten them now and again, but they've never been an easy team. And let's face it, if everything this is sorted and Leno does go, he could be facing us on August the 27th.
Yeah.
So to me, as I said before, the first 5 matches, this is where Arteta will have to start literally hit the ground running from the first match. But we can't buy into it too much until we get to September, potentially October. And October, from what I can see, there's some real big games in that one.
You know how I feel about the fixture list. All the games matter, all of them. And like you're saying about, which club can we give Arsenal to kind of trip them up? You probably said about all the teams, isn't it? I mean, I'm looking at Leeds. There's a story there with Leeds. If it was Liverpool, if it was Tottenham, if it was Man City, if it was Chelsea, any of the teams you'd probably think, oh my goodness. But all the teams, all the matches matter from beginning right to the end. I've got to run through this very, very quickly before we wrap up this show here. It's still on the theme about them pipes. No, you've got to watch the film of Jesus on the roof. All right, bro. All right. I think it depends on the start. He lost opening 5 to 6 games. Then yes, but it looked like 25 to 28 points opening 10 games. And December has just joined the chat. He says, afternoon, gents, rumours. Is there any reasons Arsenal need Kante apart from giving out wages to someone who's past their prime? He'll perform in at least 15 games. Arsenal need at least 20 per man. I'll do the video tomorrow. I'm not going to do the video today. It was come in to be a starter and help us get back to the Champions League. Meerkat says United are getting Martinez from an Arsenal fan. Yeah. The Tottenham Stadium wants to make. All right, see you. If they end up getting one more player, what should be Arsenal's realistic goal for this year, Ralph?
Realistic goal, top 4, win a trophy. I don't care if it's Europa or whether it's FA Cup. Whatever competition you're in, go in and win that. But top 4 without fail. If we don't get top 4 but win Europa, then that kind of like pulls us in. So it's like a Brucey bonus, as it were.
All right. There's a question for you. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. It's from Tygonosaurus. Ralph, what are your key players you think are missing from this current squad, and which realistic players will fill them? I don't think we have time. Do you want to think about that one? Yeah.
I want to think. I'll think about it.
Yeah.
And I'll see if I can get back. If I don't get back, then I'll do it on a special.
Okay, cool. Ace says, got to be Arteta's team because 1 or 2 players haven't gone, especially when most of them that gone or going are Arteta's signings. Why is it that teams are not coming for our players? Does it mean that all this while we are making do with average players? Well, the wage structure, isn't it? Ralph, what are your goals that Arteta has to meet this season? Well, Ralph's already responded to that one, actually. It has to be Arteta's squad. I agree as well. There's only 7 players that are left or not wanted by him. Need minimum of 40 points by halfway of the season. and reached to the end. Top 4 Europa League and 9 to 12 points closer to City and Liverpool. Guys, we've come to an end. Inside an hour. Hey, I did it. This show is sponsored by my wife. And I kid you not, because I don't like doing evening shows. And because the morning show was a bit of a rush, we actually had to go out and do something. And I got the green light from the missus to say, yeah, you can do the show. I don't like doing evening shows on a Sunday. But so thank you to the wife sponsoring the show. Thank you for that. All right, Ralph.
So does that mean that your partner is going to do like a kind of advert for us? Cannon fodder sponsored by Alex's wife.
Maybe. Anyway, Ralph, any final words before we wrap up this one?
No, it's like I said, thanks very much for inviting me. Like I said, it's been a chilled day. I've got some more stuff now I've got to get back on with. I appreciate all the chats that we're going. It's still going live even as we speak. I will get back to Tyrannosaurus actually. I think that's a really good question about key players missing and the current squad. But there we go. We move on. We move on.
Yeah, I've just seen Ace's comment there. Cannon for the wife, the brains behind it all. Absolutely. Although I wouldn't like to admit it, but it's true. Behind every man, there's a woman. Actually, behind every man, well, there's a team. There's a team here. All right, people. So we are done and dusted. Again, like my brother said, the comments are still running, but we've got to draw a line. Otherwise, I won't be living after this show here. Join me tomorrow.
I just seen one from Darren Williams. Have you seen it?
No, go on.
I'm not going to end on this.
Which one? The first one, second one?
The first one. Forget about the second one, but the first one. So I'm not going to read it out. But thanks very much, Darren Williams.
Nah. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. all you get is a mention.
You see what he said? He said peace. What? War, man. War.
yeah, war. Keenan Vieira. Just think that.
All right. Okay. Nice one. Right in their own minds. Absolutely see him. Absolutely. We're finished. I will be back tomorrow live on my Jax. My brother privileged? No, because he's my co-host on Cannon Fire TV. So we're done. Ralph, thank you for coming back on the channel. And and N'Golo Kante, Ralph. Oh, my goodness.
No more Chelsea's.
Yeah, nah.
No more. No.
All right, until then, enjoy yourself. And like it does, as you say, somewhere down there, it says to subscribe to kind of, maybe my brother can point to the subscribe button. Hey, there you go. He's got it right. Hey, yeah. Make sure that you do subscribe to Cannon 40 TV and be part of the community. We have surpassed, and we're making our way very quickly to 18,000 subscribers. Oh, lordy. Anyhow, we are out, and this has been Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.